How much are you worth? So apparently, this Polish influencer just sold her love as an NFT for $250,000, which is seems kind of steep. But also, let's get into the story so that we can like actually break this down. But before we get into it, right? Just ask yourself, what is your price? Before we get into this, what would be the price either on your body or on your life that you are willing to take to basically do anything? Like, because you know the saying, everyone has their price. What is your price? So let's get into it. So you can quite literally buy her love. So the Polish influencer Martel Rentel, 26, claims she has sold her digital love in a non-fungible token or NFT for $250,000 or 1 million Polish zloty. As a real-life token of the symbolic transaction completed on July 13th, Rentel agreed to go on one date with the anonymous buyer, according to Insider. That kind of sounds like someone bought her for, like the Futurama saying, snoo snoo. So however, the model and YouTuber, who has a 654,000 followers on Instagram, insists that her online identity, Marty Renti, the influencer who sold her love, is not the real life woman Marta Rentel. Okay, so nothing on the internet is physical. It's part of my online persona, she told Insider. And that's, I guess, what she looks like. So here's another thing, right? This is another question, right? If you think that spending $250,000 for ownership of her digital love, if you think that's worth it, hit the like button. If not, I guess don't. So as explained by Rentel on her website, my name is Marty Renti. It's not my real name, though. It's the digital version of it, coming from the parallel world where the internet is my stage. So the shrewd businesswoman shared her plans to sell all sorts of intangible assets via non-fungible tokens, including original image files and videos, and says she hopes to invest her NFT revenue stream in charitable endeavors. That sounds pretty cool. Let's see, so digital love is transactional, but so is marrying a man just because he is wealthy and stable, right? Rento told Insider and added that the as-yet unidentified buyer could just as well be a woman or a child who is very rich. Yeah, I doubt it's the child that's buying whatever it is that you're selling. So Rento said that she was inspired by Italian artist Salvatore Garo, who sold an invisible sculpture as an NFT for $18,300 in May. Oh, by the way, yeah, it was literally non-existent. Like, it didn't exist, and he sold something for basically 20 grand. Either way, I think this is actually pretty smart of her. I like this hustle. I like this side hustle. I like this way of making money where you can basically almost print money to this point, where you could basically make $250,000 selling your digital love. So broadly, the NFT market is an exchange of encrypted digital information where the recipient unlocks their highly secure tokens to access various assets, both virtual and symbolic. So due to its heavily encrypted nature, it's considered one of the safest ways to exchange information over the internet, resulting in some very high-profile sales of late, such as the Doge meme, whose face is now that of a cryptocurrency Dogecoin for $4 million, an image of Emily Ratajkowski for $140,000, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey's first tweet for $2.9 million, and the source code for the initial launch of the World Wide Web for $5.4 million. So Renti sees nothing perverse about the digital love stunt, writing on her website, "If I manage to successfully mint my digital love and find my second half, then why shouldn't other feelings and emotions just follow?" Now here's the thing, right? This is basically a publicity stunt / a money-making scheme, but here's the thing, right? Like the interesting thing about this, right? She could also structure another NFT kind of thing, like where it's like, okay, you buy this NFT. Because here's the thing, like many people don't know this, but typically how NFTs are actually like the process of like selling them and reselling them. Okay, so this person spent 250 grand to buy this girl's like digital love and to go on a date with her, right? Well, if she has it set up to where like basically whoever ends up owning that NFT will end up getting a date with her. What can happen is that person who goes on a date with her can resell it to another person for a profit, right? So let's say they bought it for 250, sell it for 300 grand to another person, right? And that other person, spent the 300 grand to go on a date with her. Now you might be thinking, well, why would she go on a date with this next person, right? The thing is, typically how NFTs are sold and resold, that there's usually typically like a percentage clause of the sale, right? So it could be something like 5 to, like 10, 20% of the sale price of whatever is being sold at any given time. And the original creator of the NFT gets a percentage of the sale price, right? Forever. So every time that thing is getting resold, they pocket a percentage of that sale price. So she could technically do like a date every year and probably bring in like $250,000 every single year just from this date thing. So long-term thinking, this is actually a great way to make money, especially with someone with her following. And depending on what she's willing to do on the date and all that kind of stuff, she can make a crazy amount of money. So she adds that she's looking for anyone who's crazy enough to travel with me to this infinite galaxy of digital emotions. So, feel free to give your thoughts, like contact us at 40inbox.com with your thoughts about this. Now, the way that I see this is that I hope that she structures this payout that she got, this $250,000, to really build up her financial foundation so that, she's out of debt, she has an emergency fund, and she starts putting money into investments that can produce more streams of income for her so that she doesn't have to keep doing something like this. She doesn't have to keep doing like kind of like stunts like this. Because here's the thing, right? Like she could easily grow. Well, she could technically use this $250,000 to basically have like the foothold of like setting herself up for life, right? Because look, she's probably making way more than $250,000 a year with 600 something thousand followers and being a YouTuber and all this other stuff, right? She's probably making a lot of money, right? I'm going to just take a guess, and she's probably making like $1 million a year, right? So if she's making about $1 million a year, probably after taxes, maybe more like 500-600 grand after taxes, depending on where she lives and all that kind of stuff, right? And taxes and all that, right? But let's just say on the safe side, she's making $500,000 a year. She could really structure her life financially in a way where she never really ever has to worry about money ever again. So if you're kind of like wanting to build like a similar financial life like her, obviously not potentially making like 250 grand out of nowhere just to sell your love, but basically setting up your life in a way where you don't actually have to do crazy things like this to live a pretty fulfilling and comfortable life. Feel free to go check out 40inbox.com to learn the secret to mastering your money, because anyone can live a fulfilling and honestly a good life by simply just being out of debt, having an emergency fund, and putting money towards investments with some extra cash coming in to like live a normal life, right? So you don't got to make things too complicated. Personal finance is actually really simple. So if you want to change the trajectory of your life, go check out 40inbox.com.